Well, you had me at coffee can. So, yeah, I mean, it's everything that you said is pretty much spot on. The thing that stuck out the most is you talked about the Alzheimer's and dementia reduction by 65%. There is a very significant study. I can't quote it off the top of my head. It's deep within the notes here, but it talked about people consuming between 3 to 5 8-ounce cups of coffee a day, middle age. So we're going to just go ahead and say 30 to 50. Those are the ones that when they study them later in life, those participants uh, had a 65% less likelihood, or sorry, not even less likelihood, or did not develop dementia and Alzheimer's. The reason why is because of the impact on something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, better known as BDNF, and people with low levels of that, like very scary low levels of that needed protein, are the people that have dementia and those like diseases. Uh, the same thing can be said for intermittent fasting. The same thing can be said for ketosis, but the antioxidants, like Michael was talking about within the coffee itself, and we can talk about how, especially in the light roast, but that's for later, or if we have time, uh, play a very significant role in the way that they support cellular function. And we talk about antioxidants just to make the listeners aware, excuse me, is we're talking about when we lose electrons on particular molecules in our body, and now all of a sudden they become a reactive oxygen species. They basically become oxidized. So in other words, what we're worried about is cells, or again, these particles in our body getting oxidized. It sounds like a good thing, like, hey, it got oxygen. No, it's a bad thing. It becomes unstable. That's how cholesterol actually gets stuck potentially in our arteries. So I can expand on that if needed, but like, again, everything Michael's saying, 100% true. Or I should say the evidence strongly supports it. And that's why I think that, again, the genetic disposition is actually called the CYP1A2 gene marker. That would make you a slow metabolizer, if you will, and you can actually have more coffee. But then again, when is it going to become dangerous? Uh, that's a whole other discussion. But yes, there is a genetic disposition to having sensitivities, in which case you might end up with the jitters. You might end up having an adverse reaction.